In this video, we're going to be covering the Express CAD example. So the first thing we're going to do is go to File, Save As, and we're going to save the part file as Express example.bbcd, and then just hit Save. And then I'm going to replace my old one. And then to get started, we're going to go to Other, Shape Library. We're going to choose the second option here, which is a ring, and then hit OK. Our first parameter that we're going to set is going to be 4 inches in diameter, and our second is going to be 2.25. And then our position in X and Y is going to be -2 in X and -2 in Y. And then if we click out of that box anywhere else, it'll update the preview, and then we just hit OK and then cancel. So now we have our ring on the screen and we can see it inside our CAD tree manager. So then we're going to go up to Other and then Hole Pattern. We're going to make our circular grid from 0 to 360 with a 4-inch diameter. Our hole diameter is going to be 0.5, and we're going to make sure we break those holes. And then our number of holes, we're going to put 6, and then we're going to center it right on XYZ 0, and then just hit OK. And then we can cancel out of this feature. Now we're going to right click and say Add a new layer. We're going to call this layer Holes, and then we're just going to put our check mark on that layer. Now before we add another hole pattern, we're going to go down to our color over here and change it to an orange color. So I picked the first orange all the way on the right. So then after we change the color, we're going to go up to Other and then Hole Pattern. We're going to leave our diameter at 4 inches. We're going to just change our hole diameter to 0.25. And then our number of holes we're going to leave at 6, and we're going to center it on XYZ 0 and then hit OK. So that creates those orange holes for us. So then I'm going to grab my select tool, and the hole that's at the 3 o'clock position, we're going to select it and then hit delete. Then I'm going to go and turn my CAD layer back to the active layer and then turn off my holes layer. I'm going to switch my drawing back to blue. Then I'm going to go up to Utilities and do a 2D Boolean. I'm going to select my large hole first and then right click and hit OK. And then come in and select all the small holes all the way around the part. And then hit OK. So it's going to add that and leave me all those points in there. Next, I'm going to go up to Other and Rectangle. I'm going to make my length in X 4 inches and my width 2.5 with a corner radius of 0.25. My origin I'm going to set to left, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. So then I'm going to go ahead and cancel. I'm going to go up to my Utilities, my 2D Boolean again. I'm going to select the entire outer shape by holding Shift and clicking on the part, and then I hit OK one time, and then I'm going to hold Shift and click on the rectangle and hit OK again. Now if I fit all, I have a shape that looks something like that. Now I'm going to go back up to Other and go back to Rectangle. Our length this time is going to be 3 inches. Our width is 1.75. Our corner radius is 0.25 again, and our origin is set to left. And then we go ahead and just click OK. And then we could cancel out. And now what I need to do is go up to my Utilities, Trim Extend, Quick Trim, and I'm just going to go ahead and just trim out all the area inside of this rectangle and arc so that I end up with a shape that kind of matches the other shape but on the inside. Then I'm going to right click inside my layers and say Add New Layer. I'm going to call this Solid. And then I'm going to put a check mark in that layer, and I'm going to come over here and switch to Isometric 2 View, which is Control 7 on my keyboard. So after I put it in an Isometric 2 View, I'm going to go to Solids and then Extrude my boss. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select the outside shape and then hit OK one time. For my positive distance, I'm going to say 0. And then for my distance down, I'm going to say 0.75 with no draft angle. And then click in another box, it's going to update, and then just hit OK to place it. So then after I extrude that boss, I'm going to go up to Solids, Extrude Cut, and then I'm going to go ahead and click inside my workspace, hit the letter S to turn off my shading, hold Shift and click on the middle shape, and then hit OK one time, and we'll see our extrude cut through. And then I'm going to put a distance of 0.5 and then just hit OK, and it's going to create that for us. And if I click back in my workspace and hit S again, we'll see we now have that pocket cut out. And then we could go ahead and hit cancel. The last thing we're going to do is cut those holes out. So I'm going to go up to Solids, Extrude Cut. I'm going to turn on my holes layer, and then I'm going to go up and click all, but next to it's a little arrow. So I'm going to say Pick by Color. I'm going to select the orange color and hit OK. and then I'm just going to hit OK once in my tree. Now these ones, I want to go with a distance of 1 inch all the way through, so these ones are just cutting all the way through the part, so I can even click on it and drag it if I wanted to. Doesn't really matter as long as there's nothing that it's going to cut above or below the part that I need to worry about. And then just hit OK, and I'll see that cut through the part. So now if I go ahead and turn off my holes layer, and then I turn off my solid layer, we can see that everything's on the correct layer. So I can turn on my solid and then turn off my CAD, and then make my solid layer active. Now I have just my active solid layer. So then I want to go in, go up to solids, fillet, and then I want to change from a constant fillet to a chamfer. My chamfer is going to be 0.05, and then I make sure all my layers are turned off, and I'm just going to go ahead and select all the way around the part, right around here. Missed one. And then just pick all the way around, and then just hit OK, and we're going to see the chamfer get created on the top corner of that area. And that concludes the video for the CAD part of the Mill Express example.